Imagine for a moment that the noise inside your head, the constant chatter, the endless stream of thoughts, worries, and anxieties, is not actually who you are. What if this mental turbulence is just a thin veil obscuring a profound, unshakable peace that has always been within you? Close your eyes. Take a breath. In this very moment, between the words I'm speaking and the silence you're hearing, there exists a gateway, a subtle threshold that most people walk past every single day without ever noticing. It's a portal to a dimension of consciousness that spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle calls the power of now. A revolutionary understanding that could transform everything you believe about yourself, about suffering, about life itself. Have you ever wondered why, despite all your achievements, your possessions, your carefully constructed plans, there's still something missing? A persistent sense of unrest, a quiet dissatisfaction that whispers beneath the surface of your daily existence? This isn't a flaw. This isn't a personal failure. This is an invitation to a journey that doesn't require you to go anywhere, to do anything, or to become someone else. A journey that asks you to simply be completely, utterly, radically present. Eckhart Tolle discovered this path not in some mountaintop monastery or through years of rigorous meditation, but in a moment of absolute despair. When the weight of his own mental suffering became so unbearable that he stood at the precipice of ending everything, something extraordinary happened. He awakened to a truth so simple, yet so profound, that it has the power to dissolve years of psychological conditioning in an instant. Would you dare to listen? Would you be willing to drop everything you think you know about yourself, about happiness, about pain, and step into a completely different way of experiencing life? This is not just another self-help narrative. This is an exploration of consciousness itself, a whispered wisdom that has the potential to liberate you from the prison of your own mind. Are you ready to discover the invisible path to inner tranquility? In the next few moments, we're going to embark on a profound journey into the heart of human consciousness. A journey that challenges everything you've been taught about happiness, suffering, and the nature of the self. This is not just another exploration of spiritual concepts. This is an invitation to a radical transformation of your inner landscape. Eckhart Tolle's teachings represent a revolutionary approach to understanding human experience. A path that cuts through the noise of our mind's endless commentary and reveals a deeper, more authentic way of being. At its core, this wisdom is about discovering a state of consciousness that exists beyond thought, beyond ego, beyond the constant narrative that typically defines our existence. Imagine for a moment a version of yourself that is not defined by your past experiences, your future anxieties, or the endless mental chatter that typically occupies your mind. This is the promise of Tolle's teachings, a radical presence that allows you to experience life directly, without the layers of interpretation and judgment that typically separate us from our pure experience. What makes this approach so revolutionary is its simplicity. We're not talking about complex meditation techniques or years of spiritual practice. We're talking about a fundamental shift in perception, a way of being that is available to you right now in this very moment. Over the course of this exploration, we'll dive deep into the core principles that make Tolle's approach so transformative. We'll uncover how the simple act of becoming aware of your thoughts, rather than being completely consumed by them, can be the key to unlocking a profound sense of inner peace and freedom. This is not about escaping your life or transcending human experience. Instead, it's about fully embracing the present moment, exactly as it is. It's about discovering a sense of aliveness that exists beneath the surface of your daily existence. A stillness that is always available, yet rarely recognized. Are you ready to challenge everything you think you know about yourself? Are you prepared to explore a path of inner tranquility that doesn't require you to change anything about your external circumstances? The journey begins now. To truly understand the depth of Tolle's wisdom, we must journey through the rich landscape of human spiritual exploration, a terrain where ancient wisdom meets contemporary insight. Long before Tolle emerged as a spiritual teacher, humanity has been wrestling with fundamental questions of consciousness, suffering, and inner peace. From the meditative traditions of Buddhism to the mystical insights of Zen, from the philosophical contemplations of Stoicism to the profound introspections of indigenous wisdom traditions, humans have always sought to understand the nature of our inner experience. Eckhart Tolle's journey wasn't born in a vacuum, but emerged from a deeply personal crucible of psychological suffering. As a young man in Germany, Tolle experienced severe depression and anxiety, a state of mental anguish so intense that he found himself on the verge of suicide. It was in this moment of absolute despair that something extraordinary happened, a profound awakening that would later form the cornerstone of his spiritual teachings. Unlike many spiritual teachers who emerged from monastic traditions or long-established religious frameworks, Tolle's insights came from a raw, personal confrontation with human suffering. His transformation wasn't the result of years of disciplined meditation or rigorous spiritual practice, but a sudden, radical shift in consciousness, a spontaneous dissolution of the ego's grip. Eastern philosophical traditions, particularly Zen Buddhism and Advaita Vedanta, have long spoken about the illusory nature of the self, the idea that our true essence exists beyond our thoughts, beyond our personal narratives. These traditions suggested that our suffering stems from our identification with the continuous mental commentary, rather than our fundamental state of being. What Tolle did was translate these ancient philosophical insights into a language accessible to the modern Western mind. He bridged the gap between mystical wisdom and contemporary psychological understanding, offering a practical approach to transcending mental suffering that didn't require abandoning one's life or adopting complex spiritual practices. His breakthrough work, The Power of Now, published in 1997, became a global phenomenon precisely because it offered a universal approach to spiritual awakening. It wasn't bound by any specific religious tradition, yet it resonated with a universal human longing for peace, for a way of being that transcends the constant mental turbulence most people experience. Tolle emerged at a critical moment in human consciousness, a time when people were increasingly recognizing the limitations of material success, of constant doing, and were hungering for a deeper, more authentic way of experiencing life. His teachings offered a radical alternative to the achievement-driven, future-oriented mindset that dominates modern society. By emphasizing present-moment awareness, by suggesting that our true power lies not in our thoughts but in our capacity to be aware of those thoughts, Tolle offered a revolutionary perspective. He wasn't just offering another self-help technique, but a fundamental reimagining of human experience. At the heart of Tolle's teaching lies a profound and seemingly paradoxical insight. The key to inner peace is not found in changing your life, but in changing your relationship with your life. Specifically, your relationship with the present moment. Most of us live trapped in a mental prison of our own creation. We're constantly living either in memories of the past or projections of the future, rarely experiencing the only moment that truly exists. Now, Tolle calls this the psychological time, a mental construct that keeps us perpetually disconnected from the rich, vibrant reality of the present moment. Imagine your mind as a restless machine, constantly generating thoughts, judgments, fears, and expectations. These thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky of your consciousness, but most people mistakenly believe they are the clouds, not the sky. Tolle's teaching invites you to recognize yourself as the vast, spacious awareness in which these thoughts appear, rather than being entangled in their content. The ego, that constructed sense of self based on personal history, beliefs, and narratives, is the primary source of human suffering. It's a mental construct that creates a false sense of separation, continuously comparing, judging, and creating narratives that pull us away from our direct experience of life. When you're identified with your ego, you're like a character in a story, constantly trying to control the plot, rather than experiencing the living, breathing moment. Present moment awareness is not a technique to be mastered, but a natural state of being to be discovered. It's about creating a subtle shift in consciousness, a spacious awareness that allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without being completely consumed by them. Think of it like watching waves on an ocean. The waves, your thoughts and emotions, come and go, but you are the vast, unchanging ocean. Pain is inevitable in human experience, but suffering is optional. Most human suffering comes from our resistance to what is, our constant mental argument with reality. When you fully accept the present moment, exactly as it is, something extraordinary happens. The energy that was previously spent on resistance becomes transformed into presence, into a deep inner peace. This doesn't mean becoming passive or accepting harmful situations. Instead, it's about responding to life from a place of clarity and presence, rather than reacting from a place of unconscious mental programming. Action that emerges from presence is aligned, effective, and free from the neurotic energy of fear and ego. Tolle suggests that our true identity is not the thinking mind, but the consciousness that witnesses the mind. It's a spacious awareness that is always here, always now, unbound by time, untroubled by past or future, simply existing in a state of pure being. Consider a simple meditation. Right now, can you feel the aliveness in your hands? Can you sense the breath moving through your body? Can you become aware of the silence between these words? This is presence. This is the doorway to inner tranquility. The path Tolle offers is not about achieving something, but about recognizing what is already here. It's a radical invitation to drop the mental constructs that create separation and suffering, and to embrace the profound simplicity of being. What does it truly mean to be present? Not as a concept to be understood, but as a living, breathing experience that transforms everything. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of your own existence, not the story you tell yourself about who you are, but the raw, unfiltered experience of being alive right now. Can you sense the subtle difference between the thoughts about your life and the actual living of your life? This is the profound invitation Tolle extends, a challenge to everything we've been conditioned to believe about ourselves. We've been taught to live in a constant state of becoming, always reaching for something more, always believing that happiness is just around the next corner. But what if true happiness is not a destination, but a depth of awareness available in this very moment? Consider the most painful experiences of your life. What if these experiences were not punishments or mistakes, but invitations to deeper awareness? What if suffering is not something to be avoided, but a doorway to profound understanding? The philosophical depth of Tolle's teaching challenges our most fundamental assumptions about identity. We typically define ourselves through our thoughts, our achievements, our failures, a constantly shifting narrative that creates a sense of separation. But what lies beneath this narrative? What is the consciousness that witnesses these thoughts, these experiences, this very moment? Imagine for a moment that you are not your thoughts, not your past, not your future plans. Imagine you are the spacious awareness in which all of these appear. How would your relationship with yourself, with others, with life itself transform? This is not about achieving a perfect state of perpetual bliss. It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience with a profound sense of acceptance. It's about recognizing that your essential nature is not defined by the content of your experience, but by the consciousness that allows the experience to be. Every moment of pain, every moment of joy, every moment of confusion is an opportunity for presence. Every breath is an invitation to drop the mental constructs that create suffering and to embrace the radical simplicity of being. Can you feel the revolutionary nature of this perspective? It's not about changing your life, but about changing your relationship with life. It's about recognizing that the peace you've been searching for has always been here, underneath the noise of your mind, waiting to be discovered. Tolle invites us to a profound paradox. True transformation happens not through struggle, but through surrender. Not through controlling your experience, but through allowing your experience to be exactly as it is. Are you willing to let go of everything you think you know about yourself? Are you brave enough to drop into the vast, mysterious awareness that is your true nature? The invitation is always here. The question is, are you ready to accept it, Transforming understanding into lived experience is where the true magic of Tolle's wisdom unfolds. This isn't about adding another spiritual concept to your mental library, but about creating a fundamental shift in how you relate to your moment-to-moment experience. Let's explore some practical pathways to embodying present moment awareness. 1. The breath anchor. Every breath is an invitation to presence. Throughout your day, create small moments of conscious breathing. It doesn't require hours of meditation. Just 3 conscious breaths can break the spell of mental reactivity. When you feel stress rising, when thoughts begin to spiral, pause. Feel the air entering your body. Feel the subtle sensation of expansion and contraction. This is not about controlling the breath, but about becoming aware of it. 2. The witness consciousness practice. Observing your thoughts without judgment. Imagine your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. You are not the clouds, you are the sky. When anxious thoughts arise, instead of getting entangled, simply notice them. Oh, there's anxiety appearing. This subtle shift creates space between you and your mental narrative. 3. Embracing the now. Choose one daily activity and practice complete presence. Could be washing dishes, walking, or drinking tea. Engage fully with the sensory experience. Feel the temperature of the water, the texture of the dish, the movement of your hands. Notice how the mind wants to drift to past or future, and gently bring it back to the immediate sensory experience. 4. The pain-suffering distinction. Recognize the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is the inevitable human experience, a physical sensation, an emotion, a challenge. Suffering is the mental story you create around that pain. When difficulty arrives, ask yourself, can I accept this moment exactly as it is? This doesn't mean becoming passive, but releasing the mental resistance that amplifies pain. 5. Conscious listening in conversations. Practice truly listening. Most of us are not really listening, but preparing our next response or filtering the conversation through our mental judgments. Instead, create a space of pure attention. Listen not just to the words, but to the energy behind the words. Feel the presence of the person speaking. The beauty of Tolle's approach is its radical simplicity. These are not complex techniques to master, but subtle shifts in awareness available in every moment. Inner tranquility is not a destination, but a way of being, a continuous unfolding of presence. Remember, this is not about achieving a perfect state of perpetual peace. It's about developing a compassionate, spacious awareness that can hold all of life's experiences, the joy, the pain, the confusion, with equanimity. Each moment is an opportunity. Each breath is a gateway. The path to inner tranquility is not something to be found, but something to be recognized right here, right now. As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to understand something profound. Inner tranquility is not a distant destination, but a present moment reality waiting to be discovered. Eckhart Tolle's greatest gift to humanity is not a method or a technique, but a radical invitation to wake up from the dream of mental storytelling and to embrace the living, breathing moment exactly as it is. This is not a philosophy to be intellectually understood, but a state of being to be lived. Your invitation is simple yet revolutionary. Begin now. Not tomorrow, not after you've fixed everything in your life, but right now. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Feel the aliveness that exists beneath your thoughts, beyond your personal narrative. This path of inner tranquility asks nothing extraordinary from you. It doesn't require you to become someone else or achieve something spectacular. It simply invites you to be fully present, to recognize the vast, spacious awareness that you already are. For those hungry to dive deeper, I recommend exploring Tolle's seminal works, The Power of Now and A New Earth, but more importantly, I challenge you to become your own living experiment. Treat his teachings not as words to be consumed, but as a living inquiry into the nature of your own consciousness. Share your experiences. Write about your moments of presence. Create a community of awakening. Every time you drop into the now, you're not just transforming your own life, you're contributing to a collective shift in human consciousness. Remember, inner peace is not something you achieve. It's something you allow. It's always here, waiting for you to recognize it. Are you ready to begin? The moment is now.